Las Vegas. Montrell Washington on the return from his end zone. And he's only going to get this to the 4-yard line.
Okay, give some credit to the team covering the kick. Boy, what was he thinking? Stay in the end zone, take the knee, and help out your offense. Instead, you put your team in a really precarious position.
Here's Wilson to throw right away. And incomplete to open things up. Well, that's not the way you want to start. First pass attempt and a first drop all in one.
Well, you got plenty of time to make up for it, but obviously not the way you want to get things started. Got to shake that off and get going.
He'll let this go deep for Sutton. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Nate Hobbs. And the Raiders are going to take possession of the football.
Well, they certainly weren't afraid to let it fly early, and they hope that'll keep the defense honest and keep the offensive guys excited about getting back out there. They are in attack mode in this game. It did backfire a little bit. Now you're just hoping your defense can keep them off the scoreboard so you're not facing a deficit the next time you run out there.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Once again, it's Jacobs. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first. Now a first carry for Brandon Bolden. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. The second down play, not much better than the first. Just a gain of 1 there. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Here's Carr to throw. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game? And partner, to me, that one was all about timing. If he's there too early, it's going to be a pass interference call. If he's too late, it's a completed pass. He was Johnny on the spot on that one.
Meanwhile, Wilson's throw hauled in by Washington. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll try and pick it up by running the option to the right. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. 4th down. Here's Wilson. We're looking for Judy, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Rocky Sin. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Raider defense delivers a score. Well, what a response by that defensive unit, Charles, because they just saw their offense throw the interception. They come out there, not only get an interception of their own, but they take it back for the touchdown.
I won't sing it because no one wants to hear that, but perhaps an early case of anything you can do, I can do better between these defenses. A lot of people came to expect the offense to light this game up, and so far, the defenses are stealing the show.
Now for the extra point, Daniel Carlson. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game.
Daniel Carlson, the kickoff for the Raiders.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Washington now brings this out. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. And the road ahead a little bit more difficult now after that pick six. So dealing with this deficit here, we'll see if he can try to make amends on this drive. 1st and 10. So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos at their own 18. Wilson getting right back to it after the pick six. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. Cortland Sutton was the man he was looking for. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Wilson. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. There's Wilson to throw. And it's a fumble. And the Raiders pick it up. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. We know he's got the speed to get downfield, Charles, but there's the negative side. A little loose with the football that time.
And that's normal, especially when you have his type of talents, because you feel like you're into the open field, and maybe you don't feel the people who are around you or closing in. All quarterbacks have to do extra ball security drills with the way the game's played now, because defenses, they attack the football as much as they attack the runner.
They stay on the ground. Here's Bolden again. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Working from the gun, it's Carr. And this is going to be intercepted. And the Broncos are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
And as we've seen, points have been precious so far, and they just threw some away on that snap. And look, let's face it, as we advance further into this game, that play will be on the minds of everyone who's watching it. They wonder if this is the turning point. Is this the spot where those points were given away? It could cost them a ball game.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Solid gain of 18 yards and a Denver 1st down. Now Wilson on 1st down. And he is going to go down. They sack him on the final play of the 1st quarter. 6-0 our score after 1. Broncos football as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it 2nd down and 11. Another try after the 1st down sack. Wilson. That's complete to the tight end, Saubert. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And the Raiders pick it up. And now off to the races down the right side. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for 6 and a Raider touchdown. second time he's lost a fumble. This one hurts more. It's returned for 6.
He's been under a lot of duress, hasn't he? Pressured, hurried, harassed the whole game.
Well, the offensive line not giving him a lot of help.
Not a lot of help, but the bottom line, he's got to take care of the football.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead now stands at 13. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Washington now brings this out. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. And Denver getting set to take the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And if we kept having a rough patch, he said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And he'll get it right back to Washington. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10. Throwing again on 2nd down. Wilson. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of blocking it up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down.
They were so close, that close to their first points of the game. Just needed to hang on just a second longer, but he couldn't complete the process of the catch through the jostling from the defender.
And he'll be tackled right on the 10, well short of the 1st down. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down.
And partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
So from an offensive perspective, at least able to get on the board here right in front of the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, now it's time to talk about complementary football, isn't it? Because if the defense can force a 3 and out, there could be enough time on the clock that they can get the ball back for their offensive guys and maybe put some more points on the board before the half.
Abdul's going to stay put, and the drive will start at the 25. And he's been throwing the ball up for grabs here early on. 2 passes, 2 interceptions. They'll try and rein things in a bit here as he starts again on 1st down. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. He'll give it to Jacobs to start the drive. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
On 2nd and 9, Carr. Got a man, it's Darren Waller. And some room to work. 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Darren Waller, 74 yards. And the Raiders are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Washington now brings this out. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. So the Broncos coming out now. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But you also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Trayvon Merrick. And the Raiders are going to take possession of the football. 3 first-half interceptions now. And, Charles, you'd have to think a fair amount of concern is developing over there on that sideline.
And there should be, because essentially he's been a little loose and possibly reckless with the football here in the first half. Now, maybe it's not all on him.
And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. And most people think of Derek Carr kind of as a guy who excels throwing the short pass, but he can dial it up when need be. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Washington now brings this out. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Denver's offense now set to go. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down. Wilson. And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13. This one complete to Jerry Jeudy. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Wilson's throw here into the hands of the receiver, Jeudy. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Wilson got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. They'll try to run it in with Murray. And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. Latavius Murray in the final seconds of the first half. And the Broncos are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. Nathaniel Hackett told his offense to stay put. They're going for 2. Final play of the half. It's Wilson. And now the pressure gets there, and he goes down. So he couldn't get rid of the football, and that deficit stays right where it is. Well, it is still a lopsided score, so they're going to try a second quarter onside kick. And the hands team for the Raiders able to secure it. A second quarter onside kick there that failed. Is that something that maybe they had dialed up before this game started?
It feels like it, doesn't it? That they thought they had the right situation, you know, and the right approach in going after it. Also may signal that they feel like they have the superior team, that they can try these sorts of things.
And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And nothing comes of this last-ditch attempt at points as time will run out on this first half. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. This is taken just shy of the 10. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Derek Carr getting set and ready to go again on offense here. And it was somewhat of a strange first half. He threw 3 interceptions, yet you look at the scoreboard, they've got the lead.
So you know what I think he did at the half? He stood up in front of the team, especially in front of the defense, and said, thank you. Appreciate what you've done. You guys have picked me up in a big way. And guess what? I'm going to get back to being who I am, which is pretty darn good. Let's go play the second half.
He's got a man complete. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line. And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we can at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there. On first down, Carr. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be second down.
Partner just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
Just a gain of a yard, but it's going to set him up with a first and goal.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. Jacobs will cross the line. He's in. Touchdown, Raiders. Well, that was a quick drive. The passing game set it up, and then the running game finishes it all.
And how about how few plays it was to get it done, but they threw it downfield and then pounded it into the end zone. And as a former defender, I can tell you, it hurts just a little bit more when they run it into the end zone instead of throwing it.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Washington now brings this out. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. So now look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. Well, CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, Wilson. Got a man, and he fumbled it. It's on the ground, and the Raiders pick it up. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
A first down run there for Jacobs, but nothing doing as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like even if he had opted to keep that, I don't think there was going to be much to gain.
Seemed like it was perfectly defense. And know what they say? Those guys on the other side, they get paid too.
They went with the run-pass option, and I don't know if the option really mattered there because the defense was ready.
So many times you put the defense at a disadvantage because you have those multiple options, but when they read their keys and play it correctly, sometimes the result goes in their favor.
They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
A very nice job right there, working the middle of the field, able to create some separation, and then utilize it to not just make the catch, but turn upfield once he got the ball in his hands.
Here's Jacobs. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Extra bulk up front for second and inches. 3 tight ends. One more time with Jacobs. And this time he is in. Josh Jacobs, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Raiders are pouring it on. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Broncos are going to get the football. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now for the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Here's Wilson. This will be caught. Judy. And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Well, still in the third quarter here. Now, you look at the scoreboard, that deficit probably a little too much to overcome, but completions like that may be something to build on for future weeks.
Yeah, it's all about ending things on a strong note here, isn't it?
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Jerry Tillery running in there and setting him down. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance.
Back now in Las Vegas. Welcome back, everybody. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Now on 2nd and 16. Wilson. And the pressure gets to him again. Jerry Tillery in there again as he's able to pick up sacks on both 1st and 2nd down. He's certainly one of those quarterbacks that can burn you with his mobility, but that time able to hem him in and get him to the ground.
Perfect descriptor right there about how they kept him in the pocket. Excellent job of containment, but they were still able to continue to bring such strong pressure without letting him escape. But how about those guys in the secondary as well? Kept the coverage tight, plastered to the receivers, and left no real options for them to throw it downfield. They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Here we go. It's Wilson on fourth down. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with the football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Broncos unable to convert here on fourth. And the Raider D, they get the football back. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
They fake the handoff. Now Carr. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their fourth pick of the game. Instead, second down. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Lets this go for Renfro downfield. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Pat Surtain. And the Broncos are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other. But it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now Wilson. And the Raiders have got him. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Throwing is Wilson. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. That's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Rocky Sin. And the Raiders are going to get it back here just past the 35. Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off. Now after the INT, it's Carr. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Justin Simmons. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. That is now 5 interceptions that he has thrown in this ball game. If I asked you to speculate what's possibly going on in his head, what would you say?
Well, if he's as mentally strong as I believe he is, he understands that not all these picks have been his fault. You know, some of the throws, yes, but there have been a good number of them where he hasn't been helped by his own receivers, and they've turned into interceptions. So he knows if he keeps firing, perhaps good things can happen, not just in this game. But
and my goodness, another interception. And the Raiders are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard. Advantage. This defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the 4th quarter.
yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
Looking deep for Adams. And this is caught. It's a big play there for Vegas. 62 yards. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. Throwing now is Carr. A dump off, fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. It's picked up by the Broncos. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. He's at the 40, the 20. And it's a defensive return for a late touchdown. So they still need somewhat of a miracle here, but at least that gets him a little bit closer. On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. And that will cut this lead down to 25. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Here's Abdullah from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Out comes Devontae Adams in the offense for their next drive. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where he's... And now here is another interception. Picked off by Kareem Jackson.
And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. Well, all I can do up here is just shake my head. I mean, 6 interceptions. I cannot imagine what he's thinking between the ears right now.
Well, just think of how it is for his teammates, because after the first few, you know they're going over to him, hey, we'll get him next time. Now,
and my goodness, now he's hit on the return. It's a loose football. And I think they are going to get this one back. Well, that would have been something, double turnovers. But instead, they'll keep the possession on the INT. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the fourth. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week, because maybe that's the reason we're down.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Justin Simmons. Yes, folks, that is his third interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though.
Touchdown, Broncos. Montrell Washington from 21 yards away. And the Broncos take the interception on defense and convert it into 6 points. He's got them out now to a 3-score lead here in the fourth quarter after that one, CD. And well, he looked right off the line like he knew that that ball was coming his way, and he secured it for 6 points.
Yeah, I think when you're leading by a healthy margin already, it actually loosens you up and allows you to take maybe a few more chances and definitely play with more confidence, because he certainly saw something he could exploit in the defense, and he made sure to let his quarterback know, just get it to me. And the rest was all up to him, and he delivered and made it a 3-score game.
Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Carr going to throw here. He hits Adams complete. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Carr now on first down. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the Broncos are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. Good starting position for the Broncos here as they come up 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 48. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
He finds Latavius Murray. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds left to go. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. To try again after the sack. Wilson. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. Now Wilson. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. On 2nd and goal. Wilson. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
They go for it on 4th and goal, but that lines up incomplete. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt, and that'll be just about all she wrote for this one. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Looking deep for Adams. And now here's another interception. And the Broncos are going to take possession here at their own 33. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things for this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film